Welcome. So I'm here with Ivy Griffin, and she's a therapist in Sacramento, and she's also a graduate of my Superpower Method for Therapists program. And I really wanted to have Ivy here to talk about claiming and going more deeply into a niche. So welcome, Ivy. Thanks so much for being here.
Hi, thank you. I'm excited to chat about it today.
Yeah, cool. So, can you tell us, Ivy, about what your niche is and also about how things were different in your business before the program?
hmm Sure. So my niche is now working with highly sensitive people, which has been a really fun topic that I'm still delving into and have a new program I'm developing about it. But prior to deciding that, I know in my practice, I was kind of all over the place. I started working with you, Annie, I guess it's been almost a year ago. It was last September. And before that, I'd been in private practice about 3 years.
Mhm.
And I was just kind of working with pretty much any clients who called. I'm on two different insurance panels, and so I'd get a lot of regular calls for folks wanting to come in, related to a lot of depression, anxiety kind of stuff. But I'd find I'd also end up working with, obsessive compulsive disorder or, sometimes couples, both of which are just not topics that I enjoy very much or that I
Mhm.
feel especially adept in. But I would kind of feel this guilt and like, oh, this person called me, I need to work with them. And, there's always a little bit of fear there about, okay, my practice might fall apart tomorrow. I should take whoever calls.
Sure.
And so I was just kind of like, yeah, going with who was interested in therapy, but it was leaving me really overwhelmed. And I was scheduling far more clients than I wanted to be, fitting
Mhm.
them into my schedule, and I wasn't enjoying the work I was doing so much.
Okay. And then what are just one or two things that you feel have changed since you claimed your niche of highly sensitive people?
hmm well, I probably get a call every week or every other week from someone who found me online and is really interested in the highly sensitive aspect.
Mhm.
I've had everything from parents calling about their kids who they think their kids are highly sensitive and they want some support for their child and themselves, which fits for me because I work with kids and teens as well, all the way up to, adults in midlife calling saying, oh, wow, I learned about this thing called being highly sensitive. I've never really explored it, but I'm ready to, and I found you online and I'm super interested in working with you. So it's been huge for me just kind of hearing over the last several months that people get really excited when they find a therapist who specializes in highly sensitive folks, and that they seem to seek me out. I mean, I've also had people be willing to drive from 30, 45 minutes away to come in and see me just because of the specialty. And I think it gives them some reassurance that, I'm a therapist who knows quite a bit about their experience and what they're going through. And so it makes them willing to wait or maybe be a little more flexible with my schedule too. So I've really been enjoying that. That's been great.
Oh, that's fantastic, Ivy. Yeah, that they're
Yeah.
really going out of their way to get to work with you. That's fantastic.
I think it's boosted my own confidence some too, right? It's like, oh wow, okay, they really want to come in and work through these things, and then feeling successful and in my work with those clients, and like we really connect, and I'm able to support them in a very real way has been super satisfying.
Mm. And what would you say to a therapist who right now is interested in delving further into a niche, but who's kind of afraid to do it?
Mm. I would say I understand. I mean, I know I have some of my own reservations myself sometimes, just with being like, well, I don't only want to work with highly sensitive people. I want to work with some variety of clients too. But I also know I've had new clients call me and say, well, I see you work with highly sensitive people. I don't really fit in that category, but I want to work on this. Do you do that? So that's been kind of reassuring to me to hear that, okay, people will still reach out and contact you because they connect with something else on my website. And then sometimes I'll just ask, do you work with other things? And I talk to them about the other work that I do. So that's been helpful to know. It hasn't only put me working with highly sensitive people. Um, But I think the other thing that I've been learning through this process is that it seems really reassuring to clients when they find a therapist who says, "Hey, I'm an expert in this area." You know,
Mm.
I think there are so many of us out there, and it's easy to look at therapists and, okay, we're all licensed, we all do continuing ed, right? We all know stuff, but how do you pick the person who knows the right things for you? And I've just seen it kind of again and again in clients who have been coming in, that they feel this reassurance that I'm going to know them and I'm going to get them because of this niche that I have. And I've even kind of found myself a few times wishing that I knew a few other therapists who specialized in, different specific areas, like in my area of Sacramento, to be able to refer people to. Because sometimes I struggle. Someone says, "Oh, I'm struggling with obesity and I want to work with a therapist," and I don't always have someone, that I know of that I can refer to. So I think it reassures clients, and in a way it reassures myself too, to
That's
have a niche.
such a good point, and that you really stand out. And so
Hmm.
if you know a therapist who has been willing to kind of plant their flag and say, this is something I am committed to, then they stand out when that
Hmm.
issue comes up.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And just for instance, sorry to interrupt you.
No, it's
There's
okay.
one other There's one other therapist in Sacramento I've come across who specializes in highly sensitive people. And she actually just called me yesterday to network and get together
Oh,
and share resources and support. So that was really cool too, to see someone reach out from the community about it.
oh, cool. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, it's really good to make those connections and to find out that when you're in a niche, it's more about collaboration than competition, because there
Mm.
do tend to be more than enough clients. So, will you
Mm-hmm.
tell us, Ivy, about your new program that you're creating, Flourish?
Yeah, so I'm creating an online coaching program, which is a little bit out of the box for me. Prior to now, I've done kind of all in office, in person sessions, a few phone sessions here and there. And so I have my new headset, and I've been getting some new equipment to help with my online coaching. But I'm really excited. This is going to be a 12-week program that I'm offering for highly sensitive people to really kind of dig in, dig deep, and explore who they are, focus on understanding themselves, and then really understanding this trait of sensitivity and how it works in their lives, and maybe how it doesn't work so well and what could be tweaked with that. And even looking at general self-care, and how sensitivity shows up in relationships in the workplace, and really just kind of helping people connect, and understand, and grow around their needs for being highly sensitive. So yeah, it's going to be a 12-week program. We're going to meet online 1 hour a week and have homework exercises in between to kind of really support and facilitate this process. So
Mm.
I'm looking forward to getting it going.
Well, as a fellow highly sensitive person, I think that is so valuable, and
Mm.
I'm just imagining what that's going to be like for the community, for them to get to learn from you, and then also to see together that they're not alone. So that's
Mm-hmm.
pretty awesome. So,
Yay.
so Ivy, what's maybe one thing, one tool that you got from the superpower program that you feel like really helped you to make these changes?
Mm. Well, I think the structure and the homework worked really well for me. And actually, I think that's a big part of where I got my idea to incorporate that into my own program.
Mm.
There was just something about, really spending some time each week, like sitting down and truly reflecting on what I wanted in my practice and my business, and what excited me and what I do well with, and then spending time building upon that. And I thought about those questions before, of course, but there was just something about having these deadlines. I knew the phone call was coming up every 2 weeks or so I had to sit down and do the homework. Right, and then to have like this very structured format to think it through, just helped take some of the overwhelm out of it for me, and helped me really be able to get focused on where I wanted to go in my business.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Ivy. So, where can people learn more about Flourish and just learn more about you online?
Sure. So I would say visit my website. It's ivygriffinTherapy.com. And I've got information on there about my coaching programs. I also have my blog and then just general information about highly sensitive people, as well as some of the other areas that I work with too.
Great. Thank you so much, Ivy. Really appreciate your time.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. It's nice to see you today.
Okay, you too. Bye bye.
Bye.